Divorces, they happen, and when they happen, there's often lots of emotion. How much emotion? Well, let's take a look at this week's case. Involves a real man, George King. George King had previously been a sheriff's deputy in Orange County, Florida. He was going through a divorce in Orange County, Florida. And as part of his divorce proceedings, his deposition was being taken. In divorce proceedings, depositions are often taken, particularly when it's a contested divorce. In a deposition, I think as we've talked about previously on this video blog series, when someone's deposition is taken, they're sworn to tell the truth, and the attorney on the other side has an opportunity to ask a variety of questions. And usually these questions are pretty far-ranging and can be pretty revealing and pretty prying. Well, George King wasn't happy at one point in time. He got really ticked off. He jumped up, pushed his attorney aside, ran towards the adverse attorney, began hitting him in the head, then began punching him in the chest. The adverse attorney was carrying a knife, pulled out the knife for self-protection. Now, as I said, King had previously been a sheriff's deputy. He was able to wrestle the knife away from the attorney, and he began stabbing him in the left side. The attorney suffered some very significant injuries, including a collapsed lung. Someone yelled, 911 is being called, and basically things broke up, and King took off, and he was then later arrested at home. He is now basically charged with battery. So, what do we learn from this case? We learned from this case a couple of things. One thing that we learned is that when it comes to cases in which bodily injury take place, in which attorneys are subject to bodily harm, in which attorneys in some instances are actually murdered, it's divorce cases. Unfortunately, and I think we've talked about this in these series previously, attorneys who are involved in domestic relation issues, divorces, basically are dealing with people who are volatile, people who are going through divorces, unless it's an amicable divorce, of which generally that doesn't happen, get extremely excited. And people will act in a most bizarre manner. Some people will spend $60,000 fighting over Christmas ornaments because of the sentimental value that's attached to the Christmas ornaments. Emotions get very, very high. And when they get high, the people who are involved in those emotions many times take them out on the attorneys, because the attorneys essentially are making the arguments on behalf of that spouse, soon to be ex-spouse, and that's who the basic anger is directed to. And the attorneys, as I say, can become subject to bodily injury, can be subject to actual homicide. Unfortunately, it's the truth of the matter of how law is practiced. And so we bring you this so you understand this. So you understand that when you're looking at various aspects of the law, some aspects of the law which should be very everyday, no issues involved, can become, in fact, very hazardous to the attorneys involved in that practice. I'm David Allen, bringing this case and bringing cases every week so you understand how the law works.